It's time to once again take a look at some awesome PS4 game deals. We got 10 great deals to go over in this video, so let's just get right into this. Nioh for $28. Nioh was a game that was in development for a very long time, going back to 2004. It saw quite a bit of turmoil in its development, but it was finally released earlier this year, and what a great game it was. It's got a fantastic Japanese setting, and it's got gameplay very similar to Dark Souls. A lot of gamers make the resemblance to Dark Souls, and you can see that Nioh definitely shares a lot of the gameplay elements of Dark Souls, but it's got its own unique elements to also make it stand out. The game has been relatively expensive since its release back in February, but right now you can pick up a used copy for $28 on GameFly. Deus Ex Mankind Divided for $11. Deus Ex Human Revolution was one of the great RPGs of last generation. Deus Ex Mankind Divided was the direct sequel, and it was a very good game as well, albeit not perfect. From a gameplay standpoint, Deus Ex Mankind Divided improves upon everything Human Revolution did. It adds more versatility, more options in the gameplay. Visually, it obviously looks better. It's on a new console. The only real area where it falters is the story and the length of the game. It ends rather abruptly, and that is unfortunate, but the good in Mankind Divided definitely outweighs the bad, and for just $11 on Amazon, exclusive for Prime members, but you can just sign up for a trial and pick the game up, so there's that.
Exponentially. Right along with the increasing threat level. Being stationed in Prague places me at the epicenter of terrorist activity. And with blame for the latest atrocity being leveled at an augmented group there, the only certainty is that the body count will keep rising.
Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition for $36. Fallout 4 was arguably the most anticipated game of this generation. Everyone was looking forward to Bethesda's latest open world epic, and sure, Fallout 4 did have its issues, especially on the technical side. From a quantity and quality perspective, Fallout 4 is among the best games this generation. And that's only amplified when you take a look at the Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, including the base game as well as all of the DLC content, and that is a lot of hours for your money. You can pick up Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition for $36 on NewEgg.
Oh man. Even if that man is a synth.
Beneath the Commonwealth, there is a cancer, known as the Institute. A malignant growth that needs to be cut before it infects the surface.
They're the real enemy, not the Raiders.
Dishonored Death of the Outsider for $18. Dishonored was one of the amazing new IPs of last generation. Arcane Studios just did a magnificent job with that game. Dishonored 2 improved upon everything the first game did. A better story, more options within the gameplay, better pacing. It was just a far better game, and Dishonored Death of the Outsider was the standalone expansion to Dishonored 2. And while it doesn't really revolutionize the franchise in any way, considering this is a standalone expansion and not a brand new entry, we can forego on that. It's still a very recent release, and the fact that it's already down to $18 is great. You can pick it up for that price over at NewEgg.
Guards. I might look different, but they'll still recognize me from the posters. Best avoid them if I can.
Destiny 2 for $36. Destiny was another game that was highly anticipated this generation. A lot of gamers would say it failed to live up to those expectations, but it was still a very good game that kept us coming back for more, especially after all of the DLC and updates. Destiny 2 was the follow-up, and it built upon everything the first game did right. It is a lot more of the same, but after Rise of Iron, Destiny became a really quality experience, so the fact that it's more of the same isn't too bad, especially if you were a fan of the last game. Destiny 2 will be right up your alley. Considering this is a game that released just a month ago, it's already down to $36 on NewEgg, and that's a fantastic deal.
An outright assault is doomed to fail. There will be no coming back.
It's worth it.
If the Red Legion want war,
than war.
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy for $30. Uncharted 4 closed the story of Nathan Drake, one of the most beloved characters in PlayStation history, but we did see the standalone expansion to Uncharted 4 in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, a game centering around Chloe Fraser as well as Nadine Ross. Once again, just like Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy isn't doing anything to revolutionize the franchise. It is more of the same, but considering how great Uncharted 4 is, more of the same is quality. And this is another title that was a relatively recent release, so the fact that it's down to $30 is really good. Only a $10 discount, but still for that price, it's well worth it. You can pick it up at NewEgg.
We play by my rules. What's it gonna be? Asav is getting a head start, and we need to hurry. We? All right! I can't let Asav get that tusk.
Final Fantasy 15 for $24. Final Fantasy 15 was another game long anticipated, going back to a decade when Final Fantasy Versus 13 was announced. The game's development cycle has been well publicized, so let's leave it at that. Let's talk about the game itself, and it's a really good open world RPG. It's not perfect. The one area, as you probably know, that Final Fantasy 15 falters on is its storytelling. It's disjointed, it's a mess. You really need to watch the movie to get the entirety of the story, and for a video game to require that, that's just not okay. But outside of that, when you look at it as an open world adventure, it is a fantastic game with a lot of content, great exploration, solid combat, and visually the game is obviously jaw-dropping. This is one of the best console games you're gonna find. And for just $24 on Newegg, it is a lot of content for your money and well worth it.
Relieve target enemies, aim magic spells, select teammate abilities, and more.
What are you after this time?
Throughout your travels, you will also find and be able to purchase powerful weapons and accessories for Noctis and the gang. You can map different weapons and magic to the D-pad, meaning they can be easily switched during combat to suit your personal fighting style.
Hell yeah!
Last but certainly not least, your choice of outfit.
Prey for $18. Prey was one of the sleeper hits of this year. It was a reboot and a reimagining of the 2006 first-person shooter. Now with it being worked on Arcane Studios, we were expecting good things, and Prey delivered. It's got that Metroidvania style of gameplay that when you start playing the game, you're actually pretty secluded off. It's more of a linear experience, but as you acquire more of the weapons, upgrades, skills, items, etc., the game's world actually begins to open up more and more for you, and it becomes almost like an open world first-person shooter. Not only that, you've got a great atmosphere in the game, as well as some very interesting storytelling that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. For $60, I could understand why it would be a hard sell, as it is only a single-player game, but now that it's down to $18 on Newegg, that is a bargain.
One.
We can fight the invasion. If I can't save us, I'm taking every last one of them with me.
Wipeout Omega Collection for $24. Wipeout has been one of PlayStation's more underrated franchises, but those that have played Wipeout know how great of a racing game series it is. The series has been absent for quite a while, but Wipeout Omega Collection released earlier this year, and it bundles Wipeout HD, Wipeout HD Fury, as well as Wipeout 2048 all in one game. It's got all of the ships, all of the maps, and all of the content from those games. Those games were great, so to have them all in one collection is amazing, and if you've never played Wipeout, you should really give it a chance. As I said, it is one of the more underrated PlayStation franchises, so I wouldn't be surprised if you did miss out on it. For $24 on PSN, it's a solid deal. Finally, Alien Nation for $6. Housemarque is one of the best game studios in the world, and it's one that you probably don't know too much about. Those are the guys that are behind some great PlayStation downloadable titles such as Super Stardust HD, Dead Nation, Resogun, and of course, Alien Nation as well. Alien Nation is an isometric twin-stick shooter, and it is great. It's got great cooperative gameplay and some awesome particle effects, and if you want an excellent cooperative experience, it doesn't get much better than Alien Nation, and for the price of $6, it is an absolute must-buy. So that wraps up 10 awesome PS4 game deals available right now. What do you think? Are you picking any of these up? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.